Hello and welcome to Flippin Through the Internet's #1 Mad Magazine news, review, and interview channel. And today we're flipping through Mad Magazine. This isn't the right screwdriver. There we go. That's better. We need a flathead. Today we're flipping through Mad Magazine number 228, released January 1982. Cover price, our price, 90 cents, which is indeed cheap. But before we do that, please let me allow me to remind you to hit like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment down below. That's the #1 way that you can support this channel. And what did I say? 700 subs by Christmas. And that's all I want for Christmas is 700 subs, which is achievable. So I might move that goalpost on you if we achieve it. If you want to support me in another way, patreon.com/flippinthrough. I have here, a 6 set of stickers, as well as a pretty awesome set of buttons available to you. Jack Davis, Harvey Kurtzman, Will Elder, and Wally Wood. And I'm throwing in the Mad Hex button as well. You can check all of those out on Etsy as well, flippinthrough.com. Anyway, these are the people that I get to thank today for their support on Patreon. That is Jacqueline Gosling, Reflection of Perfection, Frank Snyder, Misimo, David Strickler, Megan McInerney, Shane Buckley, Bobby Weigel, Cam Hayden, Rob Wilson, Rod Mead-Sperry, Andrew Goldfarb, Casey Ori, and Little Cozy Nostril. Thank you guys so much for the support. I hope I can keep on earning it. With that, let's go. Wait a second. All that noise. The air conditioning's on. What level, what massive lack of professionalism I have that I would start recording with the AC blaring? Jeez Louise. Look at this cover. We just had a Indiana Jones recently had a new movie out. What is it? The Dial of Destiny or something? I love Indiana Jones. I didn't see Crystal Skull. I was vindicated. Everybody said it was a stinker. Didn't see Dial of Destiny. I don't know. Seeing old actors, young, like aged down digitally, I have no interest in that unless it's Tom Cruise. Then I kind of do. The rest of them, though, no thank you. Just age with grace. Not you, Tommy. You keep doing what you're doing. The rest, come on, let's let somebody else fill the shoes of the leading men and leading ladies. Ironically, it's mostly leading men who have this digital de-aging, isn't it? Pretty sad, fellas. Pretty sad. Here's a beautiful cover, though, by Jack Rickard. I don't know. It's one of those that's like, it's wonderful. It's beautiful. But it just never, this isn't one of the classics, right? Maybe it's because he got the statue wrong. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe if it looked more like the actual statue, it would have been more successful. Maybe if Indiana Jones looked actually like Harrison Ford, it would have been more successful. Who knows? Who am I to say? Here we have a nice house ad, haunted by the ghost of Christmas presents. I have to take a little sipperoo. Now, I'm going to move past this and into the letters and tomatoes department. We're going to zoom in because there's something interesting. Here's some baby. What do I care about a baby? Equal time. I am sick and tired of my sister, Kathy, getting all the exposure in MAD. First, it was her baby picture in issue number 43, and then her wedding picture in issue 225. What's next? Her dental x-rays? Here's my baby and wedding pictures. I demand equal time. P.S. Kathy was right about one thing. Getting your picture on the letters page is definitely the only real advantage to being the publisher's daughter. Wendy Gaines Bucci, Madison, Wisconsin. Ooh, I didn't know she was living in the Midwest. Look at that. Oh, as a baby, and then look at as a bride. And Look at this. Future Schlock, our version of For Your Eyes Only and Family Feud, plus a mad look at lousy kissers, and lots more garbage from the usual gang of contributing idiots, all in Mad 229, on sale December 29. Don't say we didn't warn you. If you like the Future Schlock department, you should check out Potter ZB Podcast. Yes, the podcast that dares to ask what me worry. A little extracurricular adventure of Kyle Bridget and I, our podcast, inspired by Mad Magazine, the heart of our podcast, Mad Magazine, but we touch on all subjects, but not on touchy subjects. Anyway, hey, let's talk about this. Starship Bonkers Place, or A Christmas Carol O'Connor. Carol O'Connor. What did I have to say about this? Oh yeah. Uh, I was a little critical in my notes on this one about the caricatures. What do we have? I have Clint Eastwood, old Clint Eastwood, Ernest Borgnine, and Rush Limbaugh in this opening page. Who else? As we go along, it's fun. I mean, it's a Christmas Carol, but with Archie Bunker. TV's most lovable racist, right? Isn't that kind of what he was billed as? Oh, here we have David Crosby, right there. But look at that. Doesn't he look just like Rush Limbaugh in some of these? I mean, this predates Rush Limbaugh, does it? 82. I mean, Rush Limbaugh wasn't nationally famous at this point, so he would not have been in Mad Magazine. He was still sitting, of course, behind that golden EIB microphone. Anyway, this is kind of a fun one. I don't know. I just got hung up on the caricatures. Here we have Don Martin looks at. I'm actually just noticing this. I thought it was Don Martin looks at Tarzan, like a mad look at Tarzan, but obviously by the 80s that was already taken. So they were like, it's Don Martin's look at Tarzan, but it's Don Martin looks at Tarzan's Jane. I don't know. And I guess it makes sense now that I reread all of these. Um, and they're mediocre. I don't know. I'm not sure. Was there a Tarzan movie in the mid 80s? Woo, woo, woo. Works all right, but I'd rather have a hairdryer. There's like, some of these are just so bizarre. She's in the medicine cabinet. Tarzan, did you see my hair bleach? And my lipstick? And look there's a white gorilla ready to smooch on Tarzan. Um, I refuse to swing on another vine to get to our treehouse. Tarzan, just look at my hands. They're getting rough and calloused. This had better work, Buster. Oh, I do like, I don't know. I mean, they're like, these are silly. They're kind of fun. None of them are especially funny. I do like this one, though. She swings on the vine. She's creating a laundry line. Damn, I got the hiccups. You know what I do to cure the hiccups? I hold my breath for a very, very long time. And I don't know. There's just like more of this silly Tarzan stuff. How about this though? This is a fun one. Um, I'm gonna read the whole thing for crying out loud. There are two things that can make you sick at a supermarket checkout counter. One is the price of food you just bought, and the other is the cover of the National Enquirer. However, recently the Enquirer has been besieged by besieged by lawsuits brought by angry celebrities over alleged untrue, libelous gossip items and slanderous articles. That's not true. And what is it? Is it libel is printed and slander is spoken? They can't be both, especially if it's National Enquirer. It's one of them, but it's not the other. Hey, in the comments down below, tell me what is the legal difference between slander and libel? You know what I'm saying. So, what's a successful, sensationalistic tabloid to do to avoid further litigation and stay in business? What else? Pull in its horns, tone down the rhetoric, lighten up its content, and clean up its act. And when that happens, we can happily expect the Inquirer to look something like this. Millionaires Burt Reynolds and Clint Eastwood give most of their money to deserving charities. But that's not true, is it? Elvis's relatives in total agreement on $1 billion inheritance split. Um, TV's Johnny Carson is devoted to his parents? Did he like do something messed up to his parents? Farrah Fawcett has a near genius IQ. No one got drunk or carried on at President Reagan's birthday party. That's my favorite one. All right. Moving on. Um, this one's pretty darn cool. Artist is Harry North. Writer is Frank Jacobs. I think I was talking recently about Harry North. I think it was with Kyle Bridget on the last live stream, and how he is a bit of a what should we call it? He's pretty inconsistent. Like his style, I don't mean like in quality. It's like in style. Sometimes he looks way different around the same time period. Like he can, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's just seems inconsistent. Now, this is quite a long one. This is like the entire night before Christmas. So I'm not going to read it. So we'll just appreciate some of these lyrics and all of the art. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and one thing was clear, that old Yuletide spirit was no longer here. Inflation was rising, the crime rate was tripling, the fuel bills were up, and our mortgage was crippling. I opened a beer as I watched the TV, where Donnie sang "Oh Holy Night" to Marie. The kids were in bed getting sleep like they should, or else they were stoned, which was almost as good. Well, Ma, with her ballpoint, was making a fuss about folks we'd sent cards to who'd sent none to us. Those ingrates, she thundered and pounded her fist. Next year, you can bet they'll be crossed off our list. When out in the yard came a deafening blare. 'Twas our burglar alarm, and I hollered, "Who's there?" I turned on the searchlight, which lit up the night, and armed with my handgun, beheld a strange light. Look, it's weird because he has a Tommy gun right there. Why did he grab his pistol? But anyway, so he kind of Santa gets fucked up by everything, and things are not looking too good for him. But like I said, it's like the entire story. It's like a massive tale, but it's lovely. And you'll note I arrived with no reindeer this year, and without them, my sleigh is much harder to steer. Although I'd like to continue to use them, the wildlife officials believe I abuse them. Oh, great. To add to my problem, Ralph Nader dropped by and told me my sleigh was unsafe in the sky. I now must wear seatbelts despite my objections and bring in the sleigh twice a year for inspections. Frickin' Nader. God damn. Uncool at any speed. That's what I think. Anyway, family snapshots they never put in the family album. I don't know. This is like classic Paul Coker, classic Mad Magazine. Hit pause and read it. I'm going to move on though. Here we have Outlandish. I don't understand what this is a take on. Outlandish. Outlander? Is that what it is? Outlander? Should I Google that? Wait, maybe it says on Mad Cover site. No, it just says. Okay, wait. What's Outlander? It's a TV series from like modern times. I don't know if you guys know what this is. It looks like it's Sean O'Connor, Sean Connery. Yeah. And there is some like pretty funny illustrations in it. But I'm going to skip over this because this is not the movie parody that I care about. It's not the one you're going to care about either. Here are some give mad suggestions for things to give thanks for on Thanksgiving. Now, this is where you get the interesting thing about what when I do the start of this, I know I've pointed this out in the past before, but I'm going to point it out again for those of you who might not know. This says January 1982. The reason that is because it has more shelf life that way. But for some reason, periodicals do that. Whatever month it actually comes out on shelves, it says the month that's like 2 years, 2 months beyond that. So this came out around Thanksgiving time. So you have Thanksgiving stuff. You also have Christmas stuff because that's approaching, but you don't have any New Year stuff because um, that'll come out in 1 or 2 months. Well, 1 month. It will be in the next issue. That's where we would get all of that New Year's stuff. So let's zoom in on this. Bzz, enhance. All right. Um, and give thanks if you don't have to walk 5 miles in the rain in the town's local parade. Okay. Give thanks. They don't make you kiss those weird relatives that you only see on Thanksgiving. Give thanks that the pilgrims decided to go with turkey and not buffalo. No, I'm not going to give thanks about that. That'd be awesome if we had bison. Imagine that, bison burgers every Thanksgiving. Bison jerky. Oh, that'd be so good. Maybe does bison, like, the cuts taste good, or is it too tough? If you don't give thanks if you don't get stuck sitting at the little kids table. Give thanks if your uncle who smokes those 10-inch smelly cigars can't make it this year. Give thanks if that bitter old family feud doesn't erupt at the dinner table again this year. Um, I don't know. It's fine. Oops, wrong way. It's fine, but none of these are real. Um, None of them are real bangers. Oh, this is actually relevant because of you guys on the live streams. Give thanks if nothing you've eaten today is found to cause cancer in rats tomorrow. I know you guys love that. You love telling me aspartame is going to kill all the rats in my house. The National Parent Test. I'm going to skip this. I'm going to skip this because there's actually, like, kind of a big one. I don't know how well known this one is. Not super well known for me. I don't know how. Like, I thought about this. I don't really know how to talk about it because I don't find this one especially funny. It's very political. It's not controversial, but it's not funny. It's written by Larry Siegel. It's drawn by Woodbridge, and the drawings are awesome. Um, but I don't know. I'm gonna go through a few of these and leave your thoughts in the comments section. Because I don't know if I'm missing the punchline, but it really truly doesn't seem to have any punchline. Hatred, bigotry, prejudice. These are only some of the catchwords that have immortalized America through the years. But like everything else in our fast moving society, these are not the words that stand still. They have a vitality of their own and are ever changing with the times. To show you what we mean, here is a mad look at discrimination. Once upon a time, things were relatively simple in this country. White people were in charge of government, wealth, and comfort, while black people were in charge of disease, poverty, misery, and degradation. How come life is so terrible for us and so good for the whites? Hey, man, look at the bright side. They're in charge of 3 things. We're in charge of 4. Okay, I missed that joke before. That's quite funny. Down south, blacks were relegated to the back of the bus. Well, in Los Angeles, Chicanos were relegated to the back of the world. I always heard in America the streets are paved with gold. What a lie. It's not true. Yesterday, a cop knocked out 12 of my teeth, and a passing truck pounded them into the soft asphalt. Like, I get that's a joke. It's just not funny. As for the plight of the American Indian, the less said about that, the better. We are destitute, my people, but do not lose heart. One day, the great white Father who watches over us will save us from this misery. Not a chance. I just heard Marlon Brando is moving to Tahiti. Marlon Brando famously had his Oscar, like a Native American woman, do that. So anyway, it's like women were treated poorly, gays were treated poorly. Yep, things were relatively simple. rotten but simple. Then in 1954, an important thing happened. The Supreme Court outlawed school segregation. Then along came great champions of civil rights, like Martin Luther King, who led his people in demonstrations. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. I'm not going to sing that song. Um, I mean, just because I don't want to be like, I don't know, disrespectful. Um, I don't mind if they overcome there as long as they don't come over here. In time, barriers were broken. Things got better for minority groups. They began moving into areas Americans. I don't know. Listen, it's hard to explain what this. It's just. It seems like a synopsis. I don't know. I don't know what to. I don't know how to explain this. What do you like? I want to hear your thoughts on this. If you guys have read this, if you're familiar with this, if I'm missing something, but it does. I mean, it seems like they really wanted to just send a message, and but it seems way different than ways they've done it in the past. Um, so I don't know. I would just want to hear your guys' thoughts. Look at there's cross dressers. Um, here's the Matt horoscope. I don't know. Uh, yeah, I don't know what to say about it. The Mad Horoscope. I was born on May 20th. I'll read mine. Romantic entanglements can pose some problems, so lay off the S&M for a while. Focus on career matters, making sure your finger is not in front of the lens. The PM is an excellent time for love, so make sure you have an extra $50 tucked into your wallet should the opportunity arise. Put the rest of cash in your shoe. That's pretty good. Today's birthday. Your birthday was last month, schmuck. Ask your mother for the full story. All right. The pie. Yeah, I'll do the pie. I have the pie and the Raiders left. Where your Christmas dollars go? 40 cents for presents, 21 cents for decorations. It, I don't know. This issue is not great, but there's one great thing about it. I don't even want to talk about this anymore. I want to talk about this. The Raiders of the Lost Ark. Um, Artist Jack Davis, writer Dick DeBartolo, and Frank Jacobs. I don't think there are any songs. So let's zoom in. It's been said that Jack Davis was not a great caricaturist, and I can see that. I can see that criticism. Um, but I forgive it because look at this. I mean, the Nazi looks exactly like him. I think this gal, what was her name? You know what? Hold on. I got to look this up. Let's see. Who's the gal? Karen Allen. That's right. Um, I um, that was my first crush. Karen Allen was for sure my first crush. This movie and I think Animal Farm, right? Yes, she was the girlfriend in Animal Farm. I was in love. I think I was in fifth grade when I realized I was in love with Karen Allen, and yeah, that's all. That's all I have to say. But look at it. I mean, this is just like I love this illustration. I love everything about it. I like the shading. I like the faces. I like the poses and postures. I love this dude, the Nazi guy. It is amazing. It's truly amazing artwork. And I don't know, maybe it's even written well too. You remember this scene with the chick who wrote "I love you" on her eyelids? Dude, girls in the 40s were psychos. It was a true story. I Much of what I expect from women I learned from Indiana Jones movies. Um I love it. I love the way he draws the characters like really straightforward And then when he does, like, he switches to this, like the sillier versions. Again, not the most Harrison Ford caricature of Harrison Ford I've ever seen. But it's good enough, right? It's serviceable. Hey, you do remember me. I need that medallion your father left you. I'll pay you $2,000 for it. I should give you a valuable medallion after the way you left me. Do you think you can mend a broken heart for $2,000? Make it 3,000. It's amazing how fast a human heart can mend. Come back tomorrow with 5,000 when it's totally healed. Yeah, and then she got drunk, right? She drank with everybody. Wasn't that one of the punchlines? Or like one of the silly scenes? She gets in a drinking contest with like a Nazi. And he saves her. Indy is such a great hero. My word. Um, yeah, I like the thing that I wish they would have done more of in Mad is give Jack Davis movies to spoof. I like the caricature style of Mort Drucker, but what I love more is the comic book style of Jack Davis. And I wish that there was more like comic book stories that they kept doing um, throughout. That's what I wish. So anyway, they do everything. They tell the entire story. This is so great. I think he gets zapped. I don't know if it showed. No, they don't do the melting. But let's see. Clean, non-polluting stuff, long-lasting batteries, synthetic fuels, break-proof toys, cancer-proof cigarettes, long-lasting soaps, never-die batteries, Ark of the Covenant, efficient solar power cells, fuel-saving automobile engine, and safe sugar substitutes. Well, they found it. It's called aspartame. How about that? Ooh, and it looks like this one was folded, so I'll do a fold. What's the difference between an idiot and someone who folds in? There is none. I'm what I don't know. I don't fold them in. I never fold them. What the hell? I feel tricked. Somebody else folded that. I don't fold them. Anyway, um, I don't know. That's pretty good. Hit pause. Look at it. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. That's the number one way to support the number one Mad Magazine news review and interview channel. Toodaloo.